Hey everybody, welcome to episode number 80 of Cameron's Nostalgia Podcast. We've made it all the way to 80 episodes of my show. And I'm your host, Cameron Strickland. Today I have with me Brian Ochab. How are you?
I'm great. Cameron, how are you?
Nice. Now, for any of the guys that don't know, Brian is a director for My Bedbugs.
I was. That was a long time ago.
And in addition to directing, he was also a musician, singer, animator, and filmmaker.
Yeah, mostly the music now, but yeah, you got the background pretty much correct.
Nice. Starting off with our first question. How did you get interested in filmmaking?
Well, when I was a kid, just like a lot of kids, I grew up watching movies, and then when I was in grade school, a buddy of mine and I started using my dad's Super 8 camera to make we called them making movies, but they were more experiments. Um, but that's kind of how I started. And then I did directed my first commercial when I was 19, so I was pretty young when all that started. But yeah, that sort of sent me on the trajectory of being in film and television for a little while.
What was your first commercial?
It was for a drunk driving ad called "Friends Don't Let Friends Drive Drunk." It was I had come up with, and I pitched the local Detroit affiliates. And I think that commercial ran, I believe it was on the CBS affiliate, Channel 2, as I recall, in Detroit for a little while.
And how did you get interested in animation?
Well, a good friend, it was a friend of my mom's, and I met a man who was a very, very well-known animator and special effects artist in the Detroit area named Larry Larson, who unfortunately passed away uh, in I think it was 2019. And but I had met him through a series of events, and we became friends. And he took me underneath his wing, and I started working as his assistant in the special effects world. And the very first job that I had with him was on The Evil Dead 2, and which was filmed mostly in Wadesboro, North Carolina, I think. But a lot of the special effects were done in the Detroit area with Larry. And so I assisted on like the flying deadite scene and the Necronomicon that spins around. So it was a lot of fun, especially for, pretty much a kid at that point. So,
And how did you get interested in music?
well, I started music as a kid, started playing when I was 10, 11, 12-ish, something like that, formally taking piano lessons. And then kind of kept it as a hobby, as one of those life regrets. I should have stayed with a little longer. But I kind of self-taught myself, and but I kind of put it away with the filmmaking, and then in 2019, I was kind of feeling a little, uh, I don't know what the word would be, disgruntled. I had achieved some really uh, nice, lucky success as a champion close-up magician out here in LA. But I was feeling like, ah, I'd gone as far as I could go with it, and this little, you know, I thought to myself, if you had 2 years to live, what would you do? And I said, music is really my passion. It's really something I should have never given up. And like less than a week later, some dear friends of mine, Drew and Dylan Struzen, and Drew actually just passed away very, very recently. But they were kind enough to gift me their baby grand piano, and it changed my life. It was the end of 2019, 2020 happened, the lockdown happened, and I had nothing to do, but I could sit and focus on writing again and catching up. So and and then recorded some things and passed some things around to some people in the industry who really liked it and said, "Hey, we really think you got something here." So that's kind of what started me on this new journey musically.
And how did you get interested in magic?
Fell into it. As simple as that. I had come out to LA with the understanding that I had this particular gig because I had interviewed for this job at this effects company, and packed all my stuff up in Michigan, came out here only to discover that there was, some mix up with the person who was doing the hiring and all this drama behind the scenes, which I, of course, didn't know about. But what I found out was that I had slipped through the cracks, according to the guy. So I didn't have a job when I got out here. So a friend of mine said, "Oh, you've got some performing experience. Why don't you put your headshot in to be an extra?" So I did, and I got to be a featured extra, they call it, which is sort of like you're an extra in the background, but you have very specific business to do. And there was a movie with Kevin Costner called 13 Days, and it was about the Cuban Missile Crisis. And I played a White House photographer. And while I was on that set, there's lots of downtime because it's a lot of hurry up and wait. And I met a guy named Charlie Spector, who's has become a good friend of mine, and he was a magician, or a and he was amazing. And he showed me a bunch of stuff, and I was just blown away. And so I just fell into it. I started working on my stuff, and I found I could do complex things relatively easily. And I think that maybe had to do with my piano training, I think. But in short order, I started working professionally and then competed in this big international competition. It's called the International Brotherhood of Magicians Gold Cups competition. And that was in San Diego. And I was fortunate enough to win first place as well as the People's Choice Award. And that kind of set me off on that direction for many years.
Nice.
Thanks. Yeah, it's been fun. It's been a wild ride out here for sure.
You directed a short film called That Special Gift.
Cameron, man, you've done some extraordinary research. I don't know how you found all this stuff. That's amazing, my friend. Yeah, that was my first short film.
And you worked on a music video called Just Jammin'.
Yeah, boy, that goes way back. I did that when I was like 19 years old. That was my first big, sort of directing thing after that commercial. And me and the guy that I just mentioned, Larry, and then That was for a group uh, from Detroit. They were a rap group called the 24 Karat Crew. So we decided we'd do this cool music video for one of their single releases.
Nice.
Yeah, it's wild. Well done on your research, man. I don't know how you found all this stuff, but that's amazing.
So, we're going to talk about My Bedbugs.
All right.
Have you directed Gooby Loses a Tooth?
I think that's one of the ones that I directed. Yeah.
Do you have a
I I directed their first season, as I recall. I think they had done one or two episodes or something. And I don't know what the situation was, but they had brought me in to consult, and I spent a couple of days there, kind of making notes and making suggestions, and then they offered me the directing job, which I agreed to for the first season. And I think, yeah, I think Gooby Loses a Tooth was one of the episodes.
Do you have a copy of that?
No, I I wish I did. I actually I might have a DVD somewhere buried in storage, but I don't, unfortunately, I don't have a lot of stuff from that time, that's at least quick access.
What else do we have here? All right, so there's this woman on, there was a YouTuber called Becca 21F who made this video called Crazy Baby Program, My Bedbugs.
Okay, let's see. Oh, yep, that would be it. Yeah, that's it. Oh, who's that?
I'll tell you, this lady is.
Oh, we're watching a stream. That's her, not you. Okay.
That's a him. His name is Aiden.
Okay. There we go.
How many episodes do you direct?
Well, that's a good question. I'm not really sure. They were short episodes, so I want to say 26 maybe, but it's been so long, Cameron. I don't remember. But I think around there, like 20, 26 episodes, something along those lines.
You remember saying action.
When I was directing,
Mm-hmm.
oh sure. Yeah. That's that's how directors do it, you know. When the scene is ready to go, we call action and that tells everybody to go.
And when it ends, you say cut.
Yes, correct. And then we either reset to do it again or we move on to another scene.
Nice. So, do you have DVD copies of My Bedbugs?
I don't know. I I'm sure it's probably somewhere. I'm sure I have a copy of it somewhere in storage, but I don't have anything that's, that I could just pull out.
Do you have behind the scenes footage or photos of My Bedbugs?
No, I mean, all the behind the scenes stuff that we had shot was left with the producers of the show. Um, and then I think they got bought out. So the producers and all those people, they have all that. I wouldn't even know. I wouldn't even know who has them at this point. It's been a while.
Alex Green?
Yep, he was the creator of the show.
Do you have a favorite episode?
Yeah, I there was one that had to do with food, that I enjoyed shooting because we had some interesting props and fun locations around the studio. I forget what the episode name was, but it had to do with like the characters making pizzas in this oven, and yeah, that was fun. And
It's called,
I think that's the episode, as I recall, I think that was the episode that I got an Emmy nomination for directing, and I believe it was that episode.
it was called World of Foods.
World of Foods. There you go. See, you know more than I do.
And you did another scene with Pirates of Kabugabeen.
Right. Yep, that was a pirate themed episode. Not sure if that was a dream sequence or what that was, but yeah, that was another fun one. Fun props.
What else do we have here? You directed an episode called Rock Stars.
Yep. I remember that one roughly.
And what was My Bedbugs filmed?
There was a studio in Michigan, in a city called Sterling Heights, and they built a soundstage at a facility. It was like a in a warehouse district, and they had built like I don't know, two or three sound stages, plus all their offices, and that was in Sterling Heights, Michigan.
Nice. My Bedbugs was filmed in Sterling Heights, Michigan.
Yes. Hmm.
Could it be stage one?
Uh, well, there was different stages. I think we had stage one, stage two, and stage three. I think.
You know, I used to saw the logo. Want to see?
The logo for My Bedbugs?
The distributor.
Oh, the distributor. Um, yeah, I don't know who that was. I didn't have any uh you know, I didn't have any association with that. I was just, my job ended at directing the show. Yeah, that was American Public Television. Yeah, because our show aired on PBS, I think, for a while. Um, what we call public broadcasting, but that might that could be the distributor. I don't really know.
American Public Television.
I I I think that was their distributor, but I'm not sure.
What else do we have here? You worked on Rough Cut LA.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. Yeah, I did. I directed a few episodes for that TV show here in LA. It was a I'm trying to think of the name of the show now. It was a lifestyle show, basically. Places to go, things to do, people to see, that kind of a thing. And I directed a bunch of episodes for them. Yeah.
What about Pitching Loose Woman?
Oh, that was a funny little thing. That was there was a show years ago that Steven Spielberg and Mark Burnett created called On the Lot. And unfortunately, I didn't hear about it until way late in the game, and I didn't have time to put together a or shoot an actual short film. So I had I sort of did this Ed Wood thing, and I went back to old footage that I had from the music video, and cut a bunch of things together and filmed a couple of new scenes. And so it was sort of a short that was designed to be submitted for that particular TV show.
And you worked on a dark and stormy night.
Yeah, yeah, that was a feature film that I produced for a real good friend of mine who he's just passed away this last year, Ezekiel Martinez Jr. In fact, he's got a new movie coming out. I think this December. It's his last picture that he wrote, and but yeah, On a Dark and Stormy Night was something that he had written and directed, and he had asked me to produce it. So
And you worked for the Shooting Star Salesman.
excuse me. Um, yes, that was a production. I helped produce that with a friend of mine, Kiko Velarde, who that was his short film that he did, and it won of a bunch won him a bunch of awards and stuff. So yeah, that was a short.
And you worked for SoCal now.
SoCal Now, yeah, that was another lifestyle show in LA. I did a bunch of episodes for them.
You got to work on the crime scene.
Oh yeah, what was that? Man, you're pulling out all this stuff from my memory. I think that was another. I think that was another short that somebody had hired me to direct, as I recall.
And you worked for the Devil's Catchbook trailer.
Yeah, yeah. I directed that trailer called "The Devil's Catch" as a book trailer.
You directed a Doritos commercial.
Yeah, yeah. That was a fun one. In fact, it coincidentally had a Halloween theme to it, a horror theme. It was written by a good friend of mine named Mark Fury, who's a writer here in LA, and so we wanted to, when Doritos was doing the Super Bowl ads, people were submitting their commercials, and that's what that was. And I directed that one. It's called Hitchhiker. And I think it's still on YouTube, if I recall.
You directed Star Cars.
Yeah, that was an episode for a company called LTN, and it featured cars that were made famous in film and television. So I think we did something on the Back to the Future DeLorean, the Batmobile, um, and I think a couple of other cars. But yeah. How you doing over there, Cameron?
Good. For some reason, some of the YouTubers use their own episodes of My Bedbugs.
To create other content, you mean?
I just found a DVD on eBay that featured
Oh, okay.
3 episodes.
Great.
It was Future Bugs, Count Your Cookies, and Space Adventure.
Okay.
It ships from the UK to Canada.
Yeah, I'm not sure if those were the episodes I directed. That might have happened before I got there. I'm not sure.
Are you a Christian?
Why do you ask that?
Well, being a Christian is so smart.
Well, I consider myself to be a pretty spiritual guy. Um, a conversation about religion is a very deep rabbit hole. But yeah, I grew up Catholic, so you know, I'm in the uh, I'm in the universe, so to speak.
You should play the piano and sing Rainbow Connection.
I wouldn't mind doing a duet with Kermit the Frog. That would be fun. Doing that song with him would be a blast. Wow, you've got that's a really good puppet, Cameron. Where did you pick that up?
Brendan Smith made this.
It looks great. Hey, Kermit, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good.
I love that. That's great.
You're going to sing the Rainbow Connection on the piano.
Oh, I can't do that now, but at some point, that'll be part two down the road. He looks fantastic, though. That's a great puppet. I mean, really well done. And you move him really well, too. Wow, that's fantastic.
Why are there so many songs about rainbows? And what's on the other side?
Hey, you're starting to get his voice down, too. That's great.
Rainbows are visions, but only illusions. And rainbows have nothing to hide.
Fantastic. I love it. Hey,
You,
Kermit, you're awesome.
hi, Brian.
I love it. It's great, Cameron. So you mentioned you were puppeteering. Is that are you into doing, puppeteering and props and that kind of stuff? Like what's tell me.
Well, I was watching Baby Einstein
Uh-huh.
and I saw those puppets that were on TV.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I will watch Sesame Street when I was little. There are lots of puppet shows that were on TV,
Uh-huh.
and I loved it so much.
Yeah, I can see your collection back there in the background. It looks pretty cool. It's good stuff.
While we doing this on Zoom, you should be able to play a song called Rainbow Connection.
Yeah, I haven't played that one in a long time. If if we had talked about that earlier, I could have maybe prepared something, but I'm actually sitting at my piano right now. Yeah, it would. I'd have to work it up a little bit.
Could you play the Fur Elise by Beethoven?
Yeah, I mean, I know a little bit of it. It's been a while, but you know, it's that's a first year student thing, so most people should know how to, you know, pretty pretty simple stuff.
You should upload 2 videos of you singing Rainbow Connection or
I
play.
will I might do that. Let me see what I can do. Now my new music video's out. You probably seen that on YouTube. My new single is called Two Strangers on a Train, and I just released that like 6 weeks ago, something like that, with the music video. So that might be something to check out, although it's not Rainbow Connection, but
Maybe you should upload 2 videos of you playing the piano.
yeah. Well, there's a couple out there. On my Instagram, I've got a couple of me doing that. Couple of super quick cuts, but yeah.
You should upload a YouTube video of you singing Rainbow Connection while playing on the piano.
Well, I might have to do that, Cameron. I'll give that a think. I love that song. Paul Williams wrote that song.
And you should upload another one with a fur release.
Yeah, that's a good one. Very pretty. Fun to play too.
Could you play it again for me?
What, the Fairleigh song?
Uh-huh.
I haven't played it in a long time. Let's see. Boy, it's been a long time. It's been a long time, man. I haven't played that since I've been a kid. But so something along those lines. I don't remember. It's been years and years since I've done that song.
And do you have some puppets?
You know me from the show?
No.
No, I have no puppets. Hang on, Cameron. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Okay, I'm back. No puppets, unfortunately.
I think you should upload another YouTube video of you playing the Fur Elise by Beethoven.
Well, I could certainly think about that. It's a pretty song.
It was from Baby Shakespeare and Baby Beethoven.
Yeah, I think it was featured on in that movie. Yeah, as I recall. Do you play an instrument?
I played two synthesizers.
Great. Well, you should upload some music.
I had to do a recreation of the Baby Einstein videos.
Okay.
You're in Glendale, California.
Burbank. Yes, that's where I'm at right now.
So what's the address to your house at Burbank?
Oh, I don't give my address out on on a podcast. Uh, I just tell you the city that I'm in, but it's Burbank. It's really it's a great city to be in.
You know, Russ Swalgo lives in Burbank.
Yeah, well, a lot of people in the entertainment business do.
What was your first film that you ever did with a Super 8 camera?
It was a science fiction theme, as I recall. It was like a Star Wars inspired kind of a thing. So we had like a star field and spaceships flying around. I think that was one of the first things I did, and then I did a lot of stop motion animation with it. So I'd animate puzzles or move things around. I remember once one of my first experiences combining stop motion with live action, making a wine like magically appear in a bottle, and it's just so long ago. I don't remember, but I think those were some of the first experiments that I did.
You directed an episode called Happy Halloween.
You talking about my bed bugs again?
Uh-huh.
Yes. Yeah, I believe we did have a Halloween episode. I don't remember what it was all about, but I do remember that we had discussed in the writers' room doing a Halloween type episode for that.
That's nice.
Yeah, it was good. It was fun. It's a long time ago, and my memories are a little vague at best. But yeah, yeah, it was a fun time for me. I mean, I primarily lived in LA at the time, but a lot of my family was back in Michigan, so I had a chance to be out there and direct the show and be with some of the people I love. And then when the first season ended, which is what I had agreed to do, just their first season, and then I came back here to LA. But I was living in Glendale when I was doing that particular project. So that's maybe where you've got the Glendale thing. But in fact, when I moved back, my then wife had found us a new place, which is where I'm at now in Burbank.
I didn't show you your name.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yep, that's me. Yep, and they even spelled it right.
And the funniest part where Gooby was playing hopscotch and then he falls down like that. Want to see?
Sure. Yep, I remember that episode. That was one of the first ones I did, I think.
I remember that episode too.
Great. Did you watch the whole, were you able to watch the whole thing or just certain episodes?
It was for the lost media.
I see. Okay.
You have a favorite part of My Bedbugs?
Hmm. You mean a memory of the show or a certain episode?
An episode.
Well, again, I think the one that sticks out to me was the World of Food episode because that was a lot of fun to film. We had really interesting props that I could play with, and I could put the camera in different spots, and um, we weren't as pinned down. I like being able to move around and visually do things. So that particular episode allowed us the chance to use different studios, different sort of locations within the studio, and then a lot of fun props that were made by our very talented prop department. They were great.
All right. Well, Brian, thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure, Cameron. Answered, I hope I was able to answer all your questions for you.
Is there anything else you'd like to say?
No, well, thank you for having me. It was a real pleasure meeting you, and I really appreciate you having me on your podcast. I'm looking forward to hearing it when it's all put together.
You should upload some My Bedbugs episodes on YouTube.
If I can, if I can find them, I'll see what I can do.
Nice. Stay tuned for more guests coming up. Until next time, peace.